Light this popsicle. Here we go. All right, Jordan, what do we want to talk about today on this episode of James and Jordan Talking to the Internet, Season 2, Episode 8?
The most recent Joker.
You want to just get right into that?
Yeah, sure.
You watched the deleted scene?
Yes.
I watched the deleted scene. I am slightly drunk right now. What did you think of it?
I liked it, but I don't think it should have been in the movie. I think it was right for them to pull it.
Right.
Because it has too much of a... Then it's like, the movie borrows a lot from other movies.
Did you also watch that video that I watched?
Which one?
I watched the video, I think it's Jeremy Johns.
No.
He reviews movies, and he was saying, he's like, yeah, that was basically his exact sentiment, was like, if you cut this in, then it would just be like, at what point are you just homaging movies and not making your own movie?
I think, right, because the movie's a lot like Seven, and the director, I guess, even was like, I want to make it like Seven.
Which is a good idea.
Yeah, no, it works. But I think if they had that in there, then you'd be like, oh, so this is... You would start to be like...
What?
Just almost just watching it just to like find whatever movie they're like referencing. Like, yeah, because then if they put that scene in there, then you just be like, okay, so the Joker's Hannibal Lecter now? Okay. But, yeah. But I think the actor's really good, and I like that it's a younger guy. He's like my age. Because the Joker's always been like
Jack Nicholson
30s or
in
so.
His mid-60s for his entire life.
Like, I think he portrays him... You can clearly tell he's the Joker, but he's a different, like... I got the vibe that he's just, like, unbelievably insane.
Right.
But, like, Batman's the only one he can really, like...
Talk to.
Relate with.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like that, but it's, like...
Yeah.
Like, I think we can have, like, a different origin story for him. I hope he comes back as sort of a Hannibal Lecter type character.
Right.
In the new ones, if they make new ones.
Well,
They're probably
almost certainly will. I think that most people would say that this has been a resounding success.
Yeah.
I really, if they don't make another one, I'll be pissed.
Right, but you also said you didn't like the Joker originally because you didn't want him to just go back to that character. But if they use him as just something that's in there once in a while,
I like the Joker a lot. I just want something other characters to be given an opportunity. Like, I would like a good version of Poison Ivy. You know what I mean? Like, you could do, like, a bioterrorist version of Poison Ivy. That could work in this universe.
Bioterrorist? Yeah. Actually, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, like, you could make that work. There are just so many weird villains that you could do. Like, the Riddler, I wouldn't say he's lesser known, because he's out there. But you could do a whole thing with the League of Shadows. Like, I know they sort of touched on it in Batman Begins with Ra's al Ghul / Ra's al Ghul, depending on
Ra's al Ghul
where you want to go with. But, I mean, there's so much more in that world that they didn't touch on because, I don't know, they didn't want to, I guess. But there's a lot more that you could do. You could do, with Talia al Ghul, you could do Damian Wayne, which is Batman's son, who becomes Robin and then eventually at some point becomes Robin. Or Batman.
Kid.
Not adopted.
No.
Talia al Ghul drugs Batman and then bangs him, and then gets pregnant and then has a kid, and then like 6 years later shows up and is like, "Hey, this is your problem now."
Well, then we'd probably just make the movie like rated R at that point.
I think though they should definitely make a rated R cut of this movie.
They were pretty. Oh, with the one that just came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they even have one, all they'd have to do is just insert blood. I mean, like.
They're
really,
pretty close.
Like, yeah.
They're pretty close.
It's pretty violent.
Which I think does work. And I've said it before, I like the diversity of Batman, how you can have Adam West and then you can have like the Dark Knight and this version and Tim Burton. Like, you can have all these different versions of Batman and they are Batman. Like, it's not some weird hot take where I don't even know. Like, it's the character and it's super loyal to what the character is, except for, you know, all the killing that happens in the Tim Burton movies and Batman versus Superman and all that stuff. But anyway,
he doesn't kill anyone in that.
In
kicks the shit out of him.
Batman.
You think he didn't kill anyone in this new one?
No.
He hits a guy right in the temple with a metal. Because somebody
You can do that.
somebody uploaded
You can survive that.
What's the name of the club?
The
Penguin's place.
It's I know what it is in comics and stuff. It's the Iceberg Lounge. But I don't
the Iceberg Lounge. Yeah, that's what it was in the movie.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, somebody uploaded that scene. I was watching that last night
where he's like just swinging around.
Yeah, it's like yeah, I love that.
You got me, bird.
They just start playing that song. Yeah, no, he straight up hits a guy. He gets hit in the back with this like metal rod, and then he grabs it from the guy and beats him down. Like, if you get hit there, like you're gonna die.
No,
like,
you can survive.
He hits him hard.
You can survive that. It's fine.
Yeah, and then the penguin's like waddles down. He's like, "Whoa, hold your horses,
easy, sweetheart."
Yeah, yeah. So we got the Joker, Riddler, and Penguin,
and Falcone.
As like I'm talking more like the campier type group.
Yeah,
that they've been able to make realistic.
And I guess Catwoman kind of.
She's not really. I've never considered her to be like a villain. She's like what is it called? A
anti-hero.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I really like Catwoman. I like this version of Catwoman. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah. We're still gonna go see that again?
We should.
Yeah, I'll go again.
We don't, He's being a little over dramatic. Yesterday he went back to the vet to get a booster shot for
COVID?
something.
For COVID?
No, I think it was like feline AIDS or something. That's not a joke. Like that's
Yeah, no, that is a thing.
But
you can't get it from your cat.
Right, but cats can spread it to other cats, which is if you have a cat, you should get that sorted out in case they ever get out. And then I forgot my wallet, so I was like, I can't actually pay for this. They had to give me an invoice. I had to call them when I got home.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
They can't just like bill you?
Well, because I was like, when I called, they had me give them my card number so that they could take a $15 deposit because they're like, people keep canceling, and we just we need to incentivize people to not cancel.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fine. So I asked them if they still had my card on record from that, and they said that they didn't keep it, which I guess makes sense, but
I think I'd prefer that they don't.
In that one specific instance, I would have. Well, ideally, I wouldn't have forgotten my wallet with my license and shit in it too.
Oh yeah, you're just driving without a license.
Well, I have a spare license in an older license for in my car.
An expired one?
No, it's not expired. It's just I applied for another one when I turned 21 because it's like you get the adult license.
I like my license. The picture's I think really bad on it because it is like on anybody's driver's license picture.
Right.
But I was like kind of trying to make it bad. So like after she took it though, she was like, well, like if you really don't like the picture, you can always come back and we can retake it. And I was like, who the hell is gonna look at their driver's picture and be like, oh my god, look at my neck, oh I look fat or some shit, and then like wait like 3+ hours in that friggin' line to go through that again. That's like the worst experience. I hate that. Yeah.
I've heard the trick is that you go in like super drunk or hungover or high, if that's the thing that you like to do, and that way when they pull you over and you're drunk or high, it just looks normal.
I wasn't drunk, but I went in super.
We don't
hungover.
advocate for drinking and driving.
Or get someone to drive you there. Get drunk. Get somebody to drive you there. Then take the photo.
Right. That way, when you're later on when you're drinking and driving, then it's okay.
You just see them like holding up the ID and then like looking at you, and you're just like
zonked out of your mind.
Yeah, yeah. I take it's my medicine.
Makes the voices go away. I have a story. I went to the doctor's on what's today? Friday. I went to the doctor on Wednesday. Because for work, they needed to test me, make sure I don't got tuberculosis. Because I'm working in the Togus VA hospital, doing some work there. So I don't want to. Jordan got scared by the cat. I don't want to transmit tuberculosis to the old people because then they'll probably die.
I thought it was more like they would be giving it to you.
No, I think I'd be fine with tuberculosis.
Who gets tuberculosis?
I don't know. It's like polio.
Yeah, it's not really a big thing anymore. I know it was a big thing at one point, but now we got the COVID.
Yeah, that's the new
the new
hotness.
big
Well,
thing.
now the new hotness is that Russians are invading Ukraine, and COVID's kind of taking a backseat to that at the moment because it's all
Well,
government conspiracy.
I'm talking pure like disease here.
Yeah, Russia.
It wouldn't be a disease, it's just a.
I listened to doctor story. I'm fairly drunk. I'm gonna ramble a little bit here. I went to the doctor, and you can see I have a little dot in my arm. I'll take a picture of it and post it on the Instagram. They injected me with a solution right under my skin, so it bubbled up a little bit for a couple hours, and then it went away. I guess if it doesn't go away, then you have tuberculosis. I don't know how that works. They didn't explain it to me. But I went in, and I sat there for like 10 minutes, and they injected it in, and they're like, okay, come back on Friday. And then we'll know if you have tuberculosis or not. Or the ability to spread tuberculosis or something.
I hope you don't, because I'm like
I don't
pretty
have
close to you.
tuberculosis.
Oh,
I don't.
you've already had this.
Right. So I
Okay.
went in today,
All right.
and I sat there for like 5 minutes, and then they brought me in, and she was like, okay, we're just going to go in this room right here, and then can you roll up your sleeve? And I did, and she's like, okay, good. See ya. It literally took 15 seconds. It's the fastest doctor's office visit I've ever had.
Yeah.
I had to drive like 12 minutes there. It was, yeah.
So good for you. Now you don't have tuberculosis.
I mean, I got paid to do it, so, I mean,
Oh, on the clock.
yeah, because it was a
Oh,
work thing.
sweet.
Who cares? You know? What was I about to say?
I don't know.
Talking about polio. Oh, I was listening to, so I liked to read when I was a kid, and then as I got older and more busy and video games became a thing, I just, don't read anymore.
Well, you used to have to read for video games,
Right. But nowadays.
They all talk. They're
Yeah.
all talkies these days.
Movies talk to you, what? Back in my day. Anyway, I listen to books now through Audible. And I have the thing you pay $10 a month and you get one free credit for you can spend that on any book you want basically. So I get a book a month for this $10-15. Which is a pretty good deal because most books are between $20 and $30. So,
Yeah, 20 and 30.
it's not bad. So, and then they also have a pretty big catalog of free books that filter in and out. So, The Martian was on there for a while. 2001: A Space Odyssey was on there. Those are both books that I've read, but, decided to re-listen to them. And I've read, quote unquote, the first 3 Harry Potter books recently. Just decided that was the thing I was going to do. But one book that was on their free catalog, I think, was War of the Worlds, which I just finished, which is why and the bacteria thing, spreading disease.
I read that years ago. I don't really remember it.
It was good. It's really weird listening to sci-fi from back in the day. I don't know.
Isn't it 1890 something?
It must have been late 1800s, early 1900s. Because, they talk about cars a little bit, I think.
They mention horses, too, right?
They talk about horses a lot. So I think that if cars were a thing, they were very new.
Yeah.
So, 1914 or some shit. But it's fascinating.
Did you say 1914?
Yeah.
They didn't have cars then.
Yeah, they did.
No, I just said they did.
Oh.
I think it takes place in 1890, something like that.
I thought, hold on. Let's look it up right.
H.G. Wells was give that a little tap there.
War
He wrote all his books in the 1800s, right?
of the Worlds. This is the first H.G. Wells book I've ever read, so.
Okay. He did The Time Machine too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I've read that one. There's a movie too made about that.
There are a couple movies.
Weird.
There's one called okay. I looked up War of the Worlds time period, and the second article is Funding Russia's War by the New York Times, posted 1 day ago.
Just type in War of the Worlds H.G. Wells novel.
H.G. Wells.
And then it'll give you a little set in
H.G. Wells.
something time.
Oh, I'm in news, that's why.
Okay. Well, that explains it. War of the Worlds.
Summary. Will that do me anything? The date written was 1897.
Oh hell yeah, I was right. Sort of.
Adaptation, World of Worlds, 2005. I assume that's a Tom Cruise movie
That's the Tom Cruise one.
that I haven't seen.
Oh, I loved that movie. I've seen that movie so many times.
So yeah,
Steven Spielberg too.
Late 1800s. Might have been set a little later. Sometimes they do that. I don't know. But it's so fascinating. I assume H.G. Wells was probably pretty up on science and stuff in order to write these science fiction stories. So like hearing what they thought of Mars and how Mars worked.
Yeah.
It's just it's fun. There's fun.
Aliens up there.
Like how he talks about how it's like the atmosphere was filled with arsenic or something. And it's like that's not real.
Mars has an atmosphere.
It does. It's like 97% carbon dioxide, I think.
What's it supposed to be?
In the book, it's like
No. What is it like in order to be a habitable planet? What do you need?
well, it depends on. That's the question, isn't it?
Was Mars once habitable?
We think
Do
so.
you think? Yeah.
We think so.
You think there's actually something on there?
Well, the problem with Mars currently is that its core has gone solid, so you don't have a magnetic field, so that like all the ionizing radiation from the sun is just blasting away the atmosphere.
Right.
So like even if you could make a thicker atmosphere, the sun would just blow it away.
No, I mean if like
so back in the day when it did have a magnetic field, the atmosphere is probably thicker. There's definitely water on Mars.
Yeah.
So it was probably more liquid. Water, H2O, so probably more oxygen.
No large animals. Like, we're never going to find fossils of some freaking scary-ass looking alien shit.
Probably not.
Yeah, so it'd just be like bacteria and shit.
And I mean, if it was, it'd be pretty far down. Like, there's not...
Right, but why don't we just start, like, sending something there and just beaming, like they do in Jurassic Park, to see if there's any fossils down there?
Because that's really heavy and expensive, and...
I want to know if there were dinosaurs on Mars, man.
Well, you have to find the small stuff before you can find the big stuff, I guess. It's sort of backwards to how it works on Earth.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you found like fossilized bacterium,
then we can start digging.
Then you'd probably be like, oh, here's definitive evidence of life on Mars.
I mean, if we can find like an empty lake bed, what used to be a lake on Mars,
which is where most of the rovers
all
are
the
actually.
Fish and all that are going to be in there.
Well, yeah, but you also have to think like, if that was a billion years ago, even like with all of the stuff on Earth, you have like rivers and stuff and wind that will erode over time. You don't really have that on Mars these days.
Well, like,
so if they got buried, there's nothing to unbury them.
Oh, for a billion years.
Right.
Right, because that's what I was just about to say, is like a lot of fossils were just sort of discovered by accident. Yeah, and then,
like, the most famous T-Rex was just, they were walking around the desert, basically. And I think they might have even got lost. And then suddenly some asshole looks up and is like, oh, there's a fucking T-Rex.
There's that thing sticking out.
Like, it's just, you don't really have that on Mars. Like, eventually, the very little wind that there is there, kicking up the very fine particles of dust, would probably erode something, but it would just take so much longer than it would on Earth.
So how many years ago did Mars, for sure, become a dead planet?
I have no idea. I can look it up. Probably a while ago. When did Mars die?
When were the dinosaurs here?
But 4 billion years ago, the Martian core cooled, shutting down the dynamo that sustained its magnetic field. That was the planet vulnerable to solar wind, which clouded away the atmosphere and allowed Mars to sputter in space. Before long, geological term, the planet was a desert. So it looks like a long time ago.
4 billion years.
Yeah, which is weird because the Earth is only about 4.5 billion years old.
Right, so we could have been like sister planets.
Did Mars start first? Was Mars around for a billion years before that?
You just said the Earth is 4.5 billion years old.
Something like that. Somewhere
and Mars has died 4 billion years ago.
Yeah, so was Mars around for like a billion years before that, or was Mars like wiped out way early?
I don't know.
Because there was another planet there were probably a lot of other planets at some point, but there was another thing that was roughly Mars size, we think. that smashed into Earth. Earth used to be a lot bigger. That smashed into Earth about 4-ish billion years ago and started it spinning. And also probably spun, like, that impact knocked a bunch of shit out into orbit around the Earth, and then that coalesced into the moon.
Yeah.
We think that it might have been 2 moons.
That's the Theia, right?
Yeah, maybe.
The planet that collided with Earth.
That sounds familiar,
yeah.
And the theory is that there were actually 2 moons, and that while they were cooling, blah, 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 they merged into one, which would explain why the close side of the moon, I'm gesturing a lot with my hands.
Yeah.
The close side of the moon has Mara, or like the dark spots where molten magma. Molten, what does he say? Dr. Evil?
Liquid hot magma.
Liquid hot magma. Like, that was able to come to the surface and cool and turn into these Mara, which I believe translates to roughly to seas in Greek or Latin or some shit. But the far side has almost none of it, and they think that that's because the second moon, like, folded around the other side of the moon and made it thicker, so that the liquid hot magma couldn't come to the surface as much.
And that's the story of the moon.
And that's how God created the universe.
Math, science, history. Unraveling the mystery of why that show sucks. Have you seen Young Sheldon, though?
No.
Young Sheldon actually isn't bad.
I've seen one thing.
It's not... I
from
like
Young Sheldon.
Like, I've seen a couple episodes. It's, like, actually, like, kind of funny.
Yeah?
But, like, it's not like the Big Bang Theory. Like, they don't have, like... I don't think they do a laugh track.
That's
helpful. That only ever works in, like, Seinfeld for me.
Yeah, because, well, like, the thing with a laugh track is it's very of its time.
Yeah.
Where if
yeah, and for, like, a show that's
like,
more
Big Bang
recent,
started in 2011.
Yeah, that's, like, you can't just have a laugh track.
Like, you can't fault Seinfeld for having it, because it started in fucking, like, 1989.
And it also makes the show funnier, in my opinion.
Because it was actually a live audience.
Was
Unlike,
it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Unlike, I'm sure...
Yeah. No, that's fake.
Later stuff is.
No, it actually is alive.
Is it?
Big Bang Theory, yeah.
That's
Because there was this thing where one of the actresses, the nerdier girlfriend of the nerd guy, the super nerdy guy.
Sure.
Okay, whatever. There was like a clip where she was on the Conan or something, and it was cold on the set, so I guess she had like a blanket. She was kind of rubbing her hands, and like something went out on the internet that she was like jerking off. Like,
right.
Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah, and so her mom called. She was like, "You can't do that in public." She was like, "What the hell?" Pretty sure that happened. But I kind of just go through Conan after Conan videos,
right,
from time to time. So it's like
watch a 4-minute
I
segment.
forget, like, yeah.
I'm excited for his new. I don't know when his HBO thing is coming out, but I'm excited for it.
Conan?
Yeah, he's off of TBS and moving over to HBO Max.
I don't like that.
You don't like that? Is it because you don't have
him
HBO
on TV? I don't have the other one.
You can come over and watch Conan. He said it wasn't going to be a week-to-week thing, so I don't know what it... Or like a nightly show, so I don't know what it's going to be.
Well, he'd only be on, like, once a week on TBS.
Yeah, but he does a show every Monday through Thursday, I think. Like, at like 11 p.m. or something.
Maybe super late. I thought he only did it once a week.
I'm pretty sure he does it. Because he says that, even, like, in one of the Jordan Schlansky remotes, where Jordan Schlansky was showing up late,
yeah,
and he gives him the big clocks. He's like, even though we only tape a show every Monday through Thursday, we still come in and do a full day's work on Friday. So I always assumed that they released the show.
I don't remember it ever being on, like, every night until like not on TBS.
I assume they take breaks and stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Like a couple months, and they just do reruns.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Cause there's usually ads for it. I haven't seen anything.
And I mean, I love Conan O'Brien. I think he's easily the funniest talk show host out there right now. I'm not gonna say ever.
Since you've said that, though, some dirt's gonna come up where
Conan O'Brien's like a pedophile or something.
He killed a hooker back in the 80s.
That would suck. Because Conan O'Brien's like
everyone you like
coolest.
Is just ruined.
Yeah, Conan O'Brien's like the best. Like,
if I was a celebrity, I would straight up before any fans were adoring me, I would be like, this is who I am. I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And you need to accept that, okay? Otherwise, you're going to think I'm like a good person and you're going to be disappointed. Like, if you try to idolize me, I'm going to let you know right now. I used to, like, kick the shit out of hookers back in the day and get my money back, okay? You need to know this about me so it's not a shock later on.
There's this guy, I forget his name. He does stuff for Vox. I don't know if you watch any Vox videos. Is Phil Edwards or something? He does his own channel now, and he does really interesting videos, and he did one about Bill Gates. I don't know if you've seen the jumping the chair thing.
No, that's not familiar.
There was an interview with Bill Gates.
And he jumps in a chair.
Where he's, the interviewer's like, I hear, there was like during a break period or something, and she was like, I hear that you can jump a chair from just like standing up. Like you can just jump over a chair. And he goes, oh, well, it's a little game I invented. And she's like, can you jump over that chair? He goes, let me cheat a little. And he does a little run up and he jumps over. And she cheers and he's like, yeah, I did cheat a little, but, I made it. And this guy, Phil, he was going through and he was talking about how before Bill Gates jumped the chair, that was the real Bill Gates that everybody saw. Because he was like, super competitive, just like an asshole. You know what I mean? Like that was who he was. That's how he got his money, is that he just bullied everybody else out of the space so that he could be the best. And then after he got to the end, like the other side of that chair, we saw like the full-on rapist, the philanthropist, Bill Gates, who was always done it. Like he was super nice, and like the character that he became for the media and for people. It was just really fascinating to watch this guy go, like, because he analyzes the video, like after he jumps the chair, he's like, oh, well, I cheated. And he's like, he is so competitive that he's disappointed in himself for cheating at a game that he invented. It's just like, that's how you have to be in order to make tens of billions of dollars. You also probably have to be pretty smart, I guess. Unless you're super hot.
Unless you're like, yeah, I don't know. There's like TikTokers that I think make more money than me, and they seem
definitely
pretty stupid.
There are TikTokers that make 25 times what you make in a year in a day.
Yeah, one of them, they come up on Snapchat.
Oh yeah, like on the when you swipe.
And it's always let me try to find this.
I never watch any of that.
No, but I was like, what the hell is this? And then. Yeah, what the hell is it?
I stay away from that as much as possible.
And it's always this. It's this dude with no shirt on. And all it is him taking pictures of himself with no shirt on.
Yep. I see girls with big boobs.
Every day.
In very little clothing.
And it's all, it's just people working
And all
out.
the headlines are like, you'll never believe what she's able to fit in her mouth or something. Like, it's stupid. I'm not into it. I don't understand it. It's kind of scary to me, so I just stay away.
Holy fuck, what is that? God, I want to click that. That's my problem, though. I see something, I'm like, I know this is going to be dumb, but I'm going to click it.
Eventually, you see something that's so dumb that you have to click on it.
That's true.
Because it's just like, you look at it and you say, there's no way. It's the same thing with those ads. I don't know. I don't think you use Facebook that often.
Me? I don't go on Facebook.
But I see ads all the time where, and this is on everything, where it's just like, the ads are designed to make you mad at how stupid the people running the ads are, that you have to download the game to outdo the stupid people. What am I looking at? The world's most dangerous inmate. Yeah, it's like, that guy looks like a...
Do you know what that guy is?
Exploded hard-boiled egg.
Yeah, do you know what that's from? It's from a movie. It's not even a real guy.
Yeah.
That's from Gerald's Game. You should watch that. That is a good movie. Have you seen it?
Oh.
She's handcuffed to a bed. Stephen King movie.
Oh yeah.
And and her husband, who's the captain dude who from Star Trek, who dies.
Chris.
Whatever his name is.
Chris.
It's
Hemsworth, the guy who's Thor in the Marvel movies.
Thor? No.
Oh, what are you talking about? The captain guy?
Hold
Chris
on.
Pine? Captain Kirk?
No, he dies.
The guy
in the
in
second
the first one?
No, in the second one, he dies. He gets killed by
Oh,
Khan.
Captain Pike. He was like fucked up in the first one. He got captured by
Bruce
Nero.
Greenwood. And then it has Carla. Oh god, Gogino. Oh, it's Spy Kids mom. She's in it.
Ah,
And
I know who that is.
Yeah, and so she's handcuffed to this bed, and she's like, I don't want to do this. I didn't know you had some like sick rape fantasy type thing because her husband's trying to spice it up. Their marriage isn't going so well. So she's like, just untie me. He's like, no. And then he fucking has a heart attack and just keels over and dies. And so she's just chained up to this bed for like a week.
Oh no.
And and this serial killer keeps showing up, but you don't know if it's like real or fake.
She's having, it might be a hallucination sort of deal.
Right.
Sort of like Joker and his
And
girlfriend.
it's that creepy
and,
looking, yeah. But it's a good movie.
You know what's not a good movie? Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Just got finished watching that.
Yeah, 20 minutes
You
of
caught
it
the last 20 minutes of it.
brought me back to my childhood.
Dude, that movie is something else.
Even as a kid, I remember like we would just laugh at that movie and think it was really stupid.
It's not as enjoyable to watch as Batman Forever, because Batman Forever is like, you can tell it's trying to be a real movie, but it's hardcore failing. Like,
What would you do if like the big twist at the end of the new the Batman movie, you know, when they go in and it's all badass with the SWAT team, they go into that diner.
yeah.
He like lifts his hands and he's just like whips around. It's fucking Jim Carrey in that like ridiculous
green
like
spandex.
sparkly like white, the one that he's wearing at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just like, riddle me this, like over the like, but the whole movie, and then it just like that. They just throw in Jim Carrey and they're like, psych. Can you imagine? I think it would ruin the movie. And like, I like Jim Carrey as the Riddler. His think is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But like, that'd be kick ass.
I mean, on one hand, it would ruin the movie because that movie's really good. But on the other hand, I really want to see that.
Yeah. That's why I was like, okay, so, all right. There's like some interrogation scenes and stuff like that from the Batman.
Right.
And I was watching them and I was like, how has nobody inserted Jim Carrey's Riddler into these clips by taking out just that stuff? Like the interrogation scene, you could so easily like splice it together, maybe change the background.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but just have him like in the cell, like, well, Batman, you're gonna have to make a choice. Like,
We'll have to watch it again, but I don't remember what it was, but there was a moment in that movie where I was just thinking, it'd be so good if you cut that to like some music or something. Like you cut that a scene in that movie to something else. I forget what it was, but it just would have been like so perfect.
the music.
I forget what it was.
The music in that movie is good, I think.
It is. It was
like it.
done by the same guy who did The Incredibles. I don't know if
No.
that means anything to you.
The Incredibles.
I thought it was kind of cool
Well,
because I like the Incredibles theme song.
I thought it was a Zimmerman, dude.
No, this was something. I don't. The Batman. Have you listened to that song at all since you've seen the movie?
Which the
Like
Nirvana song?
No, the main theme.
Oh, the
I
that
couldn't.
thing?
I couldn't recite it off the top of my head.
No, I
It's
like
like,
how it's
Bah. It's the like the one from the trailers where
Yeah.
he's walking up. It's super
got a little like
yeah. Like it just builds and builds and builds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it gets higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, see, that's cool. But I also like how the movie, it's like minimal music. I prefer when movies don't overdo it with the music. Like just that one creepy, like, that's like inserted in.
Yeah.
Like that's just like so cool.
Michael Giacchino.
Yeah.
Giacchino.
Giacchino.
I don't know. Yeah, I think he did the music for The Incredibles. Which, if you haven't listened to the Incredibles
I
theme
can't
song,
think of any like Incredibles music.
Ba-da-bum-ba-da.
Oh yeah.
Copyright strike.
No, you're allowed to sing a song.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the Incredibles.
Because
theme
there's
song,
like it was a Danny Gonzalez. I think it was Danny Gonzalez or Drew Gooden who did it. Whereas they couldn't use the music in these like TikToks or something, so he was just singing the song so he could show the video.
Sounds like a thing that either one of those two would
Yeah,
do.
I don't know. They're the same person,
They are
so
tired of pretending they're not.
I'm tired of pretending. I do. Yeah. I also watched that last night.
Jonker.
No, just the one clip where he kills
Oh, yeah.
Murray. Murray.
Bang. That is one of the most visceral shootings I've seen in a movie in a long time.
I wasn't
His
even
head fucking explodes.
Yeah. It's also like
Some shit out of Saving
the
Private
most
Ryan.
like shocked I've ever been.
I wasn't expecting it.
You weren't?
I wasn't expecting him to shoot him in the fucking face. I was
wasn't
gonna shoot him like in the chest.
I wasn't expecting him to like
I wasn't expecting him to
shoot
show
him at
that
all,
much.
You get what you fucking deserve.
Bang! And they hold on it. Like, it's not like gunshot cut. It's like gunshot cut. Like, they hold on it for a while. Then he like gets up in the camera and
Yeah, and he shoots him again too.
yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, it is.
Should watch it again.
Yeah, we can watch that and then the Batman.
The Batman.
All 3-hour-long movies.
I miss when I like long movies when they should be long.
When they're actually good.
Like, I like the Lord of the
entertaining.
Rings. I like the Lord of the Rings movies. I like the Batman.
Yeah. Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I want a 3-hour cut of Wonder Woman. But it's fun when a movie is just like 90 minutes. Men in Black. I watched Men in Black the other night.
Yeah, that's a solid movie.
I think that movie with credits is like 94 minutes.
And there's a music video at the end.
And there is a rap video sung by Will Smith. The Men in Black. Back
and
when
there's
Will
an
Smith
alien,
used to rap.
and the alien's dancing in the video, right?
Yeah, it's Mikey from the beginning.
Right, yeah, he's dancing in it.
Doing his crisscross.
I gotta watch that again.
It's a good movie.
No.
And a good rap video.
Yeah, that's at the first one or that's the second one?
That's the first one because the second one had a different song.
They got a music video for the second one?
I think so. I don't think it's as good as the first one though.
No.
Much like the movie.
Yeah, it's not that great of a movie.
I was talking to somebody who we both know, won't say their name. Someone that we have worked with in the past. And I was like, yeah, Will Smith used to rap like songs to the movies. Like he did Men in Black and Wild Wild West and all. He's like, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, Will Smith used to be a rapper. Like he started rapping.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, he didn't. Like he refused to believe it. And then another guy who's fairly older than us, he was like, 15 to 20 years older than us, aka old as shit. Am I right? Got him.
Yeah.
But he was like, yeah, Will Smith used to be a rapper. Like the guy wouldn't believe me that Will Smith used to be a rapper. Same age as me.
How have you not seen the
I don't know.
Like, did you not wait for the ending of the credits for the secret? There's a bunch of movies had those secret music videos at the end.
Yeah.
Like Armageddon. I used to like fast forward through the. You'd wait till the end of the credits, and then it started playing that Aerosmith song that everybody hates.
I've been listening to a podcast called Annual Pass. It's a Rooster Teeth podcast, and they talk about amusement parks and different rides and stuff. And they did one on the Rocking Roller Coaster, the Aerosmith one that's in Disney World, and they were talking about like how they wanted in the late 90s they wanted to vamp it up with a different band, like keep the coaster but update all the stuff around it. And they went to I forget who was the first one. It was like the Rolling Stones or somebody. It was somebody big from the 60s and 70s. And the people were like, we want $10 million a year. And Disney went, no. And then they went to Kiss. And Kiss wanted like $15 million a year. But then Armageddon came out, and it was this huge movie, and suddenly Aerosmith was back in the popular culture. So they were like, fuck you guys, we're just going to keep Aerosmith. So Aerosmith saved that roller coaster.
Nice.
It's a pretty good roller coaster.
I've never been on it.
Pretty cool. It was actually the first roller coaster in Disney, any Disney park all over the world to go upside down. Fun fact.
Yeah, I don't like roller coasters.
I think they're okay.
I don't get like why somebody wants to feel like they're on
I don't
a moving
understand
object, like, out of control.
I don't understand I'm a roller coaster aficionado. I need to ride every roller coaster. If there's a bigger roller coaster out there, I want to ride it. You know, I don't understand that. Like, if there's a roller coaster there and the line's short, sure. Why not? But I would never wait like 4 hours to ride a roller coaster.
You wouldn't be like Charlie and Frank.
Where's North? At the top.
We gotta ride all of the rides.
What if I hold the map like this? It's still at the top. I thought North was like up. The Thunder Gun slide with no water on it.
Yeah. No, they put a water bottle on it.
Yeah, they squirt some water on it. He's got AIDS.
Just shreds his back.
Oh, it burns. Ah.
Yeah.
That's a good episode. You ready to wrap up?
Yeah.
That was a pretty good one, I think.
Yeah, that was decent.
This has been James Jordan Tech the Internet. Follow us on Instagram at, I think, JGTI Pod. What are we? Hold on, let me look it up real quick before we end. JGTI Podcast on Instagram. This is James Jordan Tech the Internet. I'm James.
And I'm Vengeance.
Yep, knew it was coming. See you guys next week.